Welcome back to the Infinite Creators Podcast. For this episode, I have my auntie, Donna, who is like a second mother to me, and she has been diagnosed with cancer for a few years and is still living with it today. And it's a very delicate conversation, but I'm so happy that she was willing to come on and, share her experience. So I hope you enjoy the listen, and thanks again for tuning in. Donna McDaid, welcome to the podcast, The Infinite Creators. It's a pleasure to have you on. I know I've just said your name, but I would love you to give yourself an introduction so the listeners can get an idea about you.
Hi, my name's Donna McDaid. Ryan's auntie. And Ryan's going to interview me.
Very good, very good. So, Donna, you're my godmother, so you're a second mother to me. And I know you've been going through a challenging journey for the last while, and I'd like to start off with where you were in, I think it was 2001. What was your life like, and give the listeners an idea of where you were in.
So it was 2021, and I was a busy person, enjoying life, busy, and didn't take time to myself. But I was quite happy, content, and I was healthy.
Very good. So you say you were busy. What were you doing at the time? What was busy?
Yeah, I had just retired, and I was doing relief work in post offices and holiday cover, and I was helping out with a family member that had taken on well. Yeah, and just the running of my own house.
Yes. So, what was it that you noticed, or what can you just give me an idea of what changed in your life, or what was going on that you noticed that was different?
Yeah, what was different, it was like a blotch on my skin, and my left arm just wasn't reaching out underneath it, and I just booked myself in with the doctor. Okay.
So you booked yourself in with the doctor, and what were you thinking at this time, or what was going through your mind?
Yeah, I had thoughts through my mind, that I sort of knew that it wasn't normal.
Mm-hmm.
So it wasn't, and
What were these blotches like?
It was just like a red patch, and I knew it wasn't dry skin, it wasn't broken skin, I never had it. I would have fairly good skin.
Mm-hmm. And what were did you think maybe, what were the thoughts, like what were you thinking?
Yeah, I was thinking cancer.
Okay. So you had this thought before you went to the doctor. So what was the process at that point? Like, you booked yourself in at the doctor?
Yeah, and I was very lucky. I got a good doctor, and she examined me, and she found a lump also, and the red blotches, but she did her best. She put me on 7 antibiotics a day for a week, and for inflammation that I had, it was my left breast, for inflammation that I had, and they did help, but she also had me booked in for a mammogram, so it all took place within 12 days.
So when you met the doctor, did they say that this is what it could be, or?
Well, she didn't confirm it. She'd rather had a mammogram, but I, at that stage, was quite convinced because of the lump.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And where was the lump?
The lump was under my left breast.
Okay.
Yeah, and swollen at moments.
What was your reaction to this in the days that followed?
I kept calm. I just told one person, and it stayed between myself and that other person until I was sent to the breast clinic in Letterkenny, and I had the biopsies and the mammogram.
Mm-hmm. And then after the mammogram?
Yes, so after the mammogram and the needle biopsies, I told my family then that Saturday night, because I would have been getting my results the following Thursday.
Okay.
So I had to prepare them.
Okay. How did you prepare yourself?
I just says, look, we're not going to lie down to this. I'm going to take control of the cancer, not going to take control of me.
And was this, you say control of cancer, was this before you were even diagnosed?
Yes.
Okay, so you had accepted that?
I knew by the doctors in the breast clinic, I knew their body language and the words they were using.
Yes. So then, knowing that you get, or I suppose giving yourself you're already taking on the challenge without being diagnosed, from that point to the point of being diagnosed, what was that moment like? Or can you walk me through?
Yes, well, so that Thursday, myself and a friend, we went into the clinic, and we were taken into my Dr. Vagaglis, and he told me that yes, I had cancer. It was stage 3. It was HER2 and inflammatory cancer, and that he's not concerned because it's treatable.
Mm-hmm.
So that was very positive. Leaving his office that day, also his nurse booked me in for a bone scan because I was very sore, and but leaving there, his words stuck with us that he's very positive because it's treatable.
Mm-hmm.
So that kept me positive.
So you still had just been diagnosed with stage 3 cancer, and you said the doctor, he gave you some positivity to hold on to. How still being diagnosed with stage 3 cancer, how was that like?
Yeah, it was quite scary because it was stage 3, and I had just discovered, it was rapid. Stage 3. How do you get cancer? And it's when you're diagnosed, it's stage 3. It was concerning, but he told me, "Don't be concerned. It's not stage 4."
Okay. So from that moment, then, what followed in the days after, the weeks after? What was the process and the procedures involved?
We had a bone scan in Sligo, and after that, then we had.
How soon was the bone scan?
Yeah, the bone scan was probably 3 weeks later.
Okay.
Then we had to go on to see my oncologist, and he was telling me the treatment plan, and there was a few wee tests to do before we started treatment. Yeah.
Okay. What was life? How did you see life after that moment? Did it still kind of seem the same, or from before to after the diagnosis, did much change?
I was still capable of doing everything because I wasn't on treatment. I wasn't sick. I could still get up, do everything, put my wee boy out to school. Nothing was a problem. I didn't see myself sick at all.
Mm-hmm. I remember that moment, and I was in shock too. It's like, can't believe this has happened, and I see my man, I seen that she was upset, but I'm like you too, I'm like, nah, things will be good, stay positive and it'll come good, and we can say them things, but it doesn't mean that it's still not a challenging moment, when I see my man, I see you, and I also see your strength, but that was, when was that?
So that was October, everything started to kick off. So I went to my own doctor, my GP, the last day in September 2021. It was a Thursday, I remember it well. Yeah, so by the time they got the ball rolling and chemo sorted out, I would say I had my first chemo in November 21.
Okay, so only 2 months after diagnosis, which is pretty fast.
Yep.
Yeah. How did you feel going into this, knowing that you're
I couldn't wait to get started. Yeah. I thought the quicker I get started, the quicker we'll get this under control.
Yeah, okay. And what was it like going through that treatment? What did you experience?
Yeah, I experienced 2 close friends going through treatment, and so they were my inspiration.
Yeah.
Then, my first day on chemo, they were so nice. I have to say, oncology unit in Letterkenny, they're next to none. They're so helpful, kind. And yeah, my first experience of my first day of chemo, was good. It was grand. You know, they made you feel comfortable, and you're not. I wasn't the only one on this boat. There's more than me, and worse. When you look around, you know, I was pretty sore going into chemo because I was sore, and I used to see these old ones like jumping off the seat.
When you say sore, where were you sore?
I was sore, my ribs and my back.
Yeah.
You know, I was like, I would say 100-year-old woman was going faster than me, and I could see these old ladies and men just jumping off the seat, and I used to say, I wish I could get off the seat like that again.
Yeah. Okay. And what was was it just one treatment, or what was what followed on from that?
Well, it was a 4 chemo treatment.
Okay.
So I was going in at 10 in the morning, and I was getting out at 5:30 in the evening.
Yeah.
It was, do you know what? I just smiled through it. I just thought, the only way you get through is smile and get your rest, drink your water, listen to what the doctors and the nurses tell you, and you'll be fine.
Yes. And then, what was there any side effects from that?
There was side effects, but they have a tablet for everything. But there is a weakness. You do be weak, and I did feel it. But I battered on.
Mm. But so you just weak, and nothing else, just...
Oh yes, well, after my second chemo, I booked in with a hairdresser in for a hairpiece, and just to take my hair off, because I can't stand hair lying about.
Yeah.
So I just says, just get rid of it.
Yes, yes.
And it was the best decision ever.
Yes, yes. Well, actually, I remember you wearing a bandana, and I think it really suits you, you know. And so just weak in the hair, anything else?
No, just weak hair and loss of appetite, but I could eat enough to keep my strength up.
Yeah. And what about your energy levels?
Energy levels would have been quite low for about 10 days.
Yeah, okay. So where does this bring us to then? You went through these, how many, 4 treatments?
No, I went through 8 treatments.
Oh, 8, sorry.
Yes, so after my first treatment, the pain left me. So that was great relief, and I felt a lot better after that. Yeah, after 8 treatments, it flew in every 3 weeks. Doesn't be long coming around. So,
and where did that bring you up to then?
Yeah, so that brought me up to March. And on my last 4 chemo treatment...
March 22.
Yes, March 22. But after my 8th 4 chemo treatment, I was sent straight away then, after the oncology room, straight up for a CT scan. And then they brought me in then, probably around April time. I had an appointment with my oncologist again. So I'll never forget the day. It was the 13th of April. I had an appointment with my oncologist, and he asked me how I was, and I says I was doing good, and he says okay. He says his initial thoughts before I started treatment that it was stage 4. So It was stage 4 from the very start. He had suspicions that it was in my bones.
Okay.
So that's where the pain was coming from. My bones were so sore. And he says, but at the moment, it's dormant now in your bones. And I had my brother with me that day, and he took it worse than me. But my oncologist was quite good. He says, you know, there's no cure, but it's treatable, and you can live with cancer.
Okay. So I remember that time that you were going through your treatment, and I just remember you in the house, and you were saying that you had more pain, and is it headaches as well at the time?
Yeah, well, I started Herceptin and Progetta. Anybody knows anything about cancer will know those 2 drugs. I started that was a maintenance drug. But on the day that I was talking to my oncologist, he told me if ever you get headaches, come straight in. And so that was fine. I had another scan, and everything was still stable, which it was great. That's the best results I can get. And then I started to headaches, and I took Panadols, and they weren't lifting. It was like a thunder headache. They weren't lifting, so my concerns was raised. I told them in an oncology unit, so they organised a CT scan for me. So then in August, it was confirmed that I had brain mets, so they had travelled to the brain.
Okay. So you've been on a journey of where you've been told you've stage 3 cancer, and then all of a sudden it's now stage 4. And as far as I'm aware, stage 4 at a time was never treatable. So, like, from going strong, going through the treatment, to be told that you're no further on, where did that leave you? Like, what like, did that bring you to a different place, or
Yeah.
like, where was it? Like, how were you at that time?
It was the worst news ever.
Why was that? Why was it the worst news ever?
Yeah, I just thought, that's it. It's in the brain. You know, your brain's just going to swell and you're just going to waste away. But my oncologist is probably one of the best in the world. He came to talk to me and he says, you know, it's not the end of the world. We're going to get you in. Right? He had sent my report to the radiology department in Altnagelvin, and I was in there and they assessed me and they started me on radiotherapy right away, which was a relief. He gave me hope. And he also told me that he would send me on a clinical trial. I told him I would go anywhere in the world for it, because at that time, my son was only 10. And he understands that. And he was good. We got started the radiotherapy in Derry. And after radiotherapy in Derry, I got a phone call from St Vincent's in Dublin. And I went through a lot of tests to see if I was fit for my clinical trial, and which I was, you know, and that really brought my positivity back, my strength back, and yeah, it was all good after that, after I'd spoken to my oncology after that, and yeah.
I just want to go back, because you said it was the worst news in the world. Like, why was that the worst news in the world, Donna?
Because I just thought, that's it, I'm finished.
What was it? What were you feeling in that moment? Like, what was life like for you in the moment where you now thought that you were just about, like, you were on the way out?
Dark. I was upset about upsetting my family. Thinking on my child. A lot of thoughts going through my head. And non-organised. I'm thinking, what have I only like weeks left? I have nothing organised. I have no memories for my child.
Yeah. I could only imagine what that's like, Donna. I don't know. I've never been in that position, but, you know, hearing you talk about that now makes me emotional, you know. So, but, you know, you've come through that journey. You talked about the doctors. You know, you've gone through a little process. So, the days after that moment where you were told that you had stage 4, and you had thought that this is it. I have a few weeks to live. You know, I'm going to leave my son, my family. How did you continue in them days? What was life like?
You know, before I left the hospital, I had great inspiration here, because the doctor, my oncologist, he gave me hope. He did really give me hope, and that brought me back to that positive thinking again.
Yeah.
That's what it was. And I was able to get up, dust myself down, and say, there's worse. You're still able to walk. You can still do things. You know, you don't have to lie in bed. You know, get up, get out.
Yeah.
And we did.
So you didn't know at all, and so, or was it like living in a place so the days after, did you know that you were going to make this through? Or you said first of all that you thought you had a few weeks. At what point did that change to a few months? Or, you know, how did you start to give yourself more time?
Yeah. You know, after I talked to my Dr. Lucas, I knew I had longer.
Yeah. And that was that on the day?
yes, that was on the day I told I had brain mets.
Yeah.
And he told me, it's not end of life, and that I was well at myself getting out of hospital again. I really was. And everybody's very good.
So he was giving you hope, but it also wasn't it could have went either way at that time. Was that the way it was?
No,
or?
that never was the way. The hope was that when I would get my radiotherapy in Derry, that would break the barrier between my body and my brain, and that the treatment would travel to my brain. Because before that, there's a barrier and the treatment can't get to the brain. He explained that to me, and that was a great relief.
Yeah.
It's a learning curve every day with cancer.
Yeah.
It's learning. It's just learning the next treatment. There's not just one treatment for one cancer. It has moved a lot since the 80s, 90s. Every year, it's improving.
The support network. Who how have you been helped and supported through this process?
Yeah, family. It's only for them. I don't think I could get through without them. And just.
But in what ways have they been helping?
Yeah, well, financially, resting, just being there. Taking care of things. If I'm not able to.
Can you give me some examples? What kind of
Yeah.
helping and
Well,
caring?
first of all, it was like coming over to help to get my house into order.
Yeah.
Because I was so busy before that.
Yeah.
Everything was everywhere. And so that was the first step. Family moved in and we got things into respective, the house into order. And I know at the time it shouldn't have been a worry, but it really was. I hated people coming in to my house and it would have been messy. Silly, I know. And taking my child for days out, and I have a friend as well, calls every day. She calls every day. She's been through the journey herself, and she calls every day. She knows what I'm going through.
Is that Geraldine?
Geraldine Care, yeah. That's her. She's an amazing woman.
Is that who called?
Yeah.
She called just before the podcast.
Yes,
Yeah,
that's her. Yeah, she calls. She calls every day, and if not in, she'll phone. Phones every morning about 10 o'clock. And my other friend, Donna McDaid.
Yeah.
She's another woman. Had gone through the journey as well, and she's always in touch with me. And then my sisters, are excellent. So they're and brothers. I'm so glad for a big family. And then I have my nephews and nieces, which are, only for them. Yeah. They're very good.
Yeah. How did you see life before versus say now?
Never imagined that this would be my life. Never imagined. But you just can't.
What were the things that you worried about that you don't worry about now that are that mean nothing?
Yeah, things that I worried about was probably my boy. Probably a bit of financial worry as well, but it was never a big issue. I never really had worries as such, you know what I mean? Might have been a worry one day and I was forgotten about the next day, you know what I mean? I never worried about anything. I was more worried about him because he would have been sick younger, with temperatures and low white cell count, my wee boy, and I had to watch him from different flus and stuff, but that all passed.
Yeah. So I probably need to rephrase, what was your perspective on life beforehand versus how do you see life today? What are the most important things to you now that maybe you feel, or is there anything that you give more attention to now that you didn't, or that you feel didn't give as much as you'd have liked to or were able to before?
Well, I think I pay more attention to myself now. I take time for myself and meet people. I've still a lot of people to meet yet. I have a lot of coffee dates I haven't got around to. But I can just, I feel like if I feel like dropping everything and going, I just do that.
So give me a few examples of what does looking after yourself for now?
Yep. Looking after myself. If I feel tired, I lie down and rest. If I feel like going for a bit of retail therapy, I just do it.
Yeah.
If I feel like going out for a coffee, I just do it.
Yeah.
And if I feel like doing nothing, I don't do anything.
Yeah.
That's it.
Good. So, that's stage 4. You're diagnosed. The scariest moment in your life, not knowing if you're gonna live. That accepting, or part of you thinking this is it. Like, I've only a few weeks. I'm gonna leave my young boy Sam behind, and overcoming that with hope. You've overcome that in a sense that you're still on that journey. Now, like, you still have treatment, isn't it?
Yes.
You still go through, like, can you tell me, like, what is it now that your current, like, the path that you're on and how you're managing yourself?
So the path I'm on, I'm in St. Vincent's. I'm on a clinical trial. It's a 3-year trial. So I'm nearly have a year done. So it's treatment every 3 weeks. It's TDXD, a short for something. And then I get scans every 6 weeks along with treatment. So we go up on a Monday night, we're in early on a Tuesday morning, and we get the treatment done. And if it's a scan day, we get a scans as well. Come home and rest for the couple of days, and yeah, it's the outlook since I've started that stable. Spots have dissolved on my brain, and touch wood, there's no progression anywhere else in my body. So that's the beauty of getting your scan every 6 weeks. It's a great safety net. So it is.
When you say get your scan every 6 weeks, this is you now, if you before
Yes.
cancer or after?
Before. No, this is now.
Yeah.
Going through this clinical
you get a scan,
trial.
you have treatment every 3 weeks?
Yes.
And then you have a scan every 6 weeks, is that?
Scanned and treatment.
Oh.
So it's every 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Treatment is regardless. Treatment is every 3 weeks.
Yeah.
So I must scans on, and then 6 weeks again I get treatment and scans.
Mm-hmm.
So it is, yeah, and it's good.
Yeah.
So it is.
So, how long have you been doing this, and how long do you have to do it for?
Yes. So I started this clinical trial, I think on the end of October, and I asked my oncologist in St. Vincent's, how many more I shall be getting, and her answer was, as long as your body can tolerate it. So, and so far my organs is holding up all right against the treatment.
So you're on this indefinitely?
Yes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So possibly for the rest of your life?
As long as it keeps working.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how do they know when it's finally worked? Is there a result or a measurement?
Yeah, well, at the moment, my spots in the brain have dissolved, but they still keep giving it to me. Like, it's a clinical trial.
Yeah.
So whatever helps me will help somebody else as well, because it's all, I give away my right to help somebody else, data and stuff.
Yeah. It was the only option you had at this time?
It was the best option.
Yeah.
My oncologist in Letterkenny said he only had the second best treatment,
mm-hmm.
but he knows where the best is.
Yeah.
So it was St. Vincent's.
Yes. How do you go about life now? Like, how do you stay positive?
I just stay positive by being myself, being normal. If I'm going out, I wear my hairpiece. If I'm at the home, I wear my scarf.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm out, I want to be normal. I want to be treated like normal. Not that somebody that's going through cancer, that's not well. Do you know what? It's my life now. It's how I cope with it. Yeah.
How do you stay so strong?
You see, people say I'm strong. This is me all my life.
Donna, you are strong.
But this is me all my life. If I was knocked down, I got up again. I says, what odds? There's worse things happening to people. I just brush it off. I might dwell a day or two, but I'll get up and go again. Like, I don't wake up every morning and say, I do say cancer sucks.
Yeah.
It does, like. But you can't let it hold you back. You just can't, because if you did, you wouldn't leave the house.
Yeah. What do you think this experience is teaching you?
It's teaching me a lot. That, don't take your health for granted. If you see someone that it's not right, should it be show finger, show foot, pain in your back, go and look about it. Go and look about it. That's, and just respect others.
Yeah.
Really and truly, respect others. We don't know what anybody's going through.
That's for sure. And we're always going through something. Yeah. It's just part of the human experience. Like you say there, make sure you check in your health. So like, if you were to go back to Donna before she was diagnosed with cancer, what would Donna do differently? You
see, it happened to me very sudden. It's like a rapid type HER2. I really don't know what I would do different. I probably would have went maybe 2 weeks before when I seen the little red rash.
Yeah.
I would have went then, but I kept an eye on it and probably should have went then. I don't know if it had made any difference or not.
Yeah.
But I should have been there like 2 weeks before. But I was kind of afraid to go, because I was afraid of letting people down. That that it was helping at that time, and that was my main concern. Again, wasn't concerned for myself, for other people.
So what you've just said there, just what I take from that is that there was a time that you were putting other people in front of you.
Yes, I would have done that a lot, but.
So how do you feel?
It was people that I appreciated, and people appreciated me.
Of course.
That is that was my priority. Like, even my wee boy, like, yeah. I would have just dropped things and did it for him, not for me, for him. That, I don't regret doing that,
Yeah.
I felt good,
No, I understand, and I know you don't regret it, but it's like there was still a moment in time where you were like, you know what, I need to do this other thing for this other person, instead of like, actually, what is this that's going on with me? I need to take this needs to be my priority. And I know there are a lot of people out there who do things for other people and not do things for themselves, and that can catch up with them, and it's just like they don't realise that they're taken away from themselves. Like, and you talked about it now, you said you do things for yourself, like, you go for that coffee, you go for retail therapy, so it's just like we get caught up sometimes doing things for others.
We do indeed, but those people that I would have been concerned with and have been very good to me since. No, they haven't. No, it hasn't been forgotten about. But sometimes eating bread soon forgotten, but not my case. It hasn't been.
Yeah, these are people very close to you.
Yes.
Yeah, of course. But we get caught up sometimes thinking, what, it'll be grand. It's not that, it's like it was a spot in my arm or something, and then we just go on with their normal daily lives thinking, being optimistic, but there's nothing wrong with being optimistic too, but sometimes we don't always get it right. Through this experience, what has been the most memorable for you?
I don't think there's anything most, I think it's just after Christmas getting a phone call from St. Vincent's to say that, all the spots had dissolved and you're stable, and, that is the best result I can get in my life now, is stable.
Mm-hmm.
And stable's good.
Yeah.
I'll accept that any day of the week.
Yes. It's been interesting, see you and be around you going through this experience, and we sit down there sometimes in the sitting room and I'm just like, Jesus Christ, just seeing you just be so strong, and as if like, yeah, it's just nothing is going on, you know, like it's inspiring. Like, you know, you really give me strength from just seeing how you like soldier through this challenging journey. I'm just like, you are a warrior, like, you know, you're an inspiration to me, whether you know that or not. But like, I truly feel that energy from you, and I'm very grateful for that too, you know. What's your approach now with every morning when you get up?
I thank God every day and every night. Thank God for giving me this day. And when I waken up the next day, thank God for a new day.
Yeah. So it sounds like you live for every day now.
That's it.
Yeah.
Everybody should.
Yeah.
Nobody's guaranteed tomorrow.
Yeah. And you sure know that, being so close to that.
Yeah, that is right. But I don't see myself sick because I can get up every day. I can wash, dress, I go about my business, do my housework, you know, when I'm allowed to do my housework. You know, I can, you know, a friend calls, I can go with them, and, you know, nothing's stopping me.
Mm-hmm.
You know, make the most of the time you have on this earth.
Yeah.
And please God, by the end of August, we will get to Spain for 10 days. So that's very promising. So with the help, God willing, we'll get to Spain.
I'm sure you will. You lost a part of your independence there for a while where you weren't able to drive.
Yes.
And you've got back on the road recently.
Yes, short journeys. Yeah, so I don't drive for about 10 days after treatment because I will be a wee bit watery, you know, just weak on it. But I don't need to drive. Yeah. It's just knowing that you can get a wee bit of independence, you know, rather than having to, not that anybody feels tortured about it, but just to go and do something for yourself. But I was always very independent anyway. You know, it's just good to have a wee bit of that.
Yeah.
That you don't have to lose it.
Yeah. It's, you know, I never thought about it, but the fact that you just said to me that you don't see yourself as sick, like you choose to not see yourself as sick, like that is such a powerful outlook on how to see your life. It's like, it's just something that you're doing.
Yes.
You know, it's not that you're sick, you know.
Mm.
That's amazing, Donna.
Yeah, well, as I say, you know, if you want to lie in bed and dwell on it, it doesn't help. Yeah. You need your mind busy and fresh air and thinking other things. I can do so much, a lot, everything for myself.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And from what I see, you seem to enjoy the time that you make going to them treatments as well.
Yep.
Can you tell me a bit about that?
Well, my sister Shanna and normally always my cousin Yvonne, you know, we need a bit of comedy.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we would head off.
I'm sure you get it with them.
We'd normally head off on a Monday evening, and it's normally always the same hotel. And while I get myself steeped in the bath, they'll have a few sips, and maybe we'd have dinner beforehand. Yeah. You know, it helps going for treatment easier when you have a giggle and, you know, yep.
Yeah, very good, very good. And is there anything different that you've integrated into your life, like any alternative therapies or practices that you didn't do before that you do now?
Yeah, I was, every week I was going for reflexology with Michelle Garbreth, and it was really good. But I must start back to that. Walking my bare feet on the grass or the sand is good. And then I tried other treatments, but I didn't keep it up. But yeah, it's
very good.
Mm-hmm.
There are actually two things I do myself. I've started with Michelle there recently. I had something going on with myself, and within 3 weeks it's solved, you know, which has been amazing. And I actually do like walking on the beach without any shoes or socks on. It's really good for us. It's called earthing. Our body connects with the earth, and yeah, it's very nourishing for the body.
Yeah, well, that was you, Ryan, put me to walking on my bare feet on the grass.
No, well, you know, just because it works for me doesn't mean it'll work for someone
No,
else.
I
you
like
know.
it.
That's good. That's good. So Donna, what would you say to someone who's going through this experience or is about to go through this experience? What would your advice be?
Stay positive. Everybody's journey is different. Just because I'm feeling so positive, I don't know what to tell anybody. Just what I've been through. Everybody's journey is different. There's no two the same. But get up, get out. If you don't have help, ask for help. It's out there. There's always somebody willing to help.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And like when you say staying positive, like can you give me an example of like, you know, maybe not everyone's as strong as you, you know, so like can you give me an example of like how to stay positive through like a challenging moment, like a really tough moment? Like how do you embody that?
Think on the next day. You know, I just think what you're going to do for the next couple of days that you have to get done, and if it's not done, it's no big deal. It'll always be there for you. You know, you just have to. I don't know how to explain to be positive. I was always a very positive person anyway.
Yeah.
You know, you either are very positive or you become very positive.
Mm-hmm.
That's my belief anyway. And do you know what? A bit of faith.
Yeah.
A bit of faith goes a long way.
Yeah. Donna, that's just, it's been amazing just having that conversation, you know, with you. As much time as I spend with you, we never actually sit down and like talked about it in depth. Like, you know, I've been with you I've been around you, you know, seen you through this journey, but never actually sat down and had an intimate conversation about it. Like, and I'm very grateful to be able to sit here, and I'm so grateful that you're still here with us, you know, to share this experience with me. And if anyone else listens, you know, it's amazing. It's just like, you're so strong. You're like a true warrior. Do you know that?
No, but you're after telling me. I don't see myself like that, but you know what? Everybody has a story. Everybody has a journey.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's all different.
I know, but like the thing is, so many people get caught up in the small things in life, like, you know, whether that be, you know, I've trouble with this or I've trouble with that, trivial things, you know, and they're really, really down in the depths. But like, you know, when it comes to fighting for your life, like, you know, that's when the true strength comes out.
People used to always say to me, why am I complaining to you what you're going through? But I always tell people, look, if you have a sore finger and it's painful, that's painful.
Mm-hmm.
You know, pain is pain. It doesn't matter what anybody else is going through. If you're going through pain at that moment, it's pain.
Mm-hmm.
You know, don't be thinking that you're complaining over something silly. I always say, pain's pain.
Yeah, that's true. I think we get caught up in, we're always going through something, and when we get through that, when we get over that challenge, there's still another challenge there that's going to always be in our mind that we're trying to battle through. And it's just like we get caught up in that, you know.
Yeah.
As in, like, even though your health may be perfect, you can be someone who's worrying about, am I going to lose my job, you know, do I have enough money and stuff like that there. But you know, really and truly, they're still trivial things, you know. As long as we have our health, we have a home, and we have food and water, we have everything we need.
Health, food, heat, and a roof over your head.
Yeah.
That is your wealth.
It is your wealth, isn't it?
So it is, yeah.
Donna, have you any final words?
I don't think so. I think they're all through and mixed up on there. Just anybody that has a journey of any kind, stay positive.
Yeah, positive. Donna, thank you so much. I can't wait to give you a hug after this podcast. After this conversation.
Yes, that's okay. You can.
Donna, thank you very much. And yeah, that's everything for now.
Pleasure, Ryan.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
I want to thank you again for listening to another episode of The Infinite Creators. And I ask you to remember that you are the infinite creator.